Hey everyone, it's Makito here, and today I'll be doing a review for the Massachusetts Go Foundation League. I'm going to be reviewing G League, and I'll be reviewing Piertropaolo versus Flash15. Let's look at this game. So I do know Joe from the Massachusetts Go Association, and I know Owen from the Filipino Go Association. I used to teach for free for the Philippines, and so it's really cool that he decided to join us. We're 12 hours apart, so his 7 o'clock in the morning is our 7 in the afternoon. But anyway, that's just a little tidbit. Let's talk about the game. First comment was at move 10, so let's take a look. All these moves are great. This is old school. I don't play it myself anymore, but I still know all, most of it, all the variations, and how, what it does. So I can't not recommend playing it. It's still good. The computer and pros now know why this isn't all that great. I think it's because white can Tanuki and get Sente somewhere. And because black gets the corner easy, like white still doesn't have to really do anything yet. White can make a base, but it's just small. The computer considers it really small, but it's fine. It's fine for both players. We've been playing this for like, who knows, maybe hundreds of years for all I know. But this didn't get extinct when the computers started playing something different. But it's still fine for us humans, and especially us lower players. We're not professionals here, and I don't mind it. So we'll move on. This move is where I had the problem. So this is a good direction of play lesson. The idea is that black is three-dimensional. Black has 1, 2, 3 corners. Like this is a shared corner, but still black has 3 corners. This only focuses on one side of the board, meaning that it's kind of slow. I would think that white would want to get third dimensional as well, and to be honest, this used to be taught as the best move in the situation because it stops black from getting a double wing, and it limits black, right? Like if black was to play a normal move like this, and I'll even do this old one as well, you can see white settled here and black's very small on this bottom. It's only 3 lines, or even considered 2 lines of territory, but only on the 3rd line, meaning that it can get reduced. It's not going to make a lot of points. It's very small. So this move affects that quite greatly. Black, this is one of the normal moves, but black can still be, sharing the corner or the corner being taken, and black or white can also reduce black significantly. I think it usually starts here. And this is like very common. You can see white's getting like a humongous wall and outside influence, and black's getting a shared 3 to 4th line territory, which isn't terrible. But this one white stone limits black on how many points he can get. So when white played over here, this is considered very slow. It's not a good opening theory move, and the direction of play is you shouldn't focus on one side of the board. Playing a move like B breaks up the chance for black to make a double wing, or I called it semi-double wing because normally a double wing is when black's on this side and on this side. It's kind of like a bat, right? This is the bat, and then these are the wings. But anyway, we'll move on. So black did get the double wing, and what I was explaining is A, B, C, and D are all working together. This is like a great opening for black. So I would feel good here if I was playing as black. Let's see, this was move 13. Okay. So white approached here, and now white's trying to get that 3D effect as well, which is good, but black's a move ahead, so that's why, we were talking about this. But anyway, this is where black made a mistake. So this is a pincer move. Pincer moves are usually good if black was on this side. So, because white, white is here, down right here, you can see that black is between two fence posts. And when you think of it like that, white has a big advantage in this area. Now, if it was black stones here, you could see this pincer is beautiful because this stone would be working off of these to make territory here, and it would be hurting this stone. But because it's the opposite, it feels like black is immediately just getting attacked. So that's why I want to point that out here. This, in my opinion, was a good decision because now you can see these fence posts, A and B, are working together and really making this small. The best black can do is like get a small base, and then white will profit here while attacking black. So anyway, black didn't come here. I also think this is an appropriate move because you want to make your points over here and keep the attack up here. This was good. This was good. This was good. But now I think white has to come here because it separates black completely. It hurts this corner and it helps white make a base. You have to understand that this group is still kind of weak. Even though white has some advantage here, black has some advantage too because this is so strong now. So you need to prevent this Atari. If black played here immediately, then you could see that white doesn't have eye shape and is getting bullied. And now he's going to have a lot of trouble. But because this Atari wasn't... Oh, and on top of that, it secures points in this corner. Like, this is guaranteed, you know, at least 6, you know, 8, you know, 11 points. So, and even more, right? So, this was so urgent. It wasn't played for a long time, and I was shocked because this affects this base. So one thing to keep in mind is that you want to look at all your groups and figure out what's strong and weak. Right now, black is strong here, 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 and here, and white is strong here and here, and even here. But white is not strong here, and black is not strong here. So this is the focus of the game until something is settled. And by making white weaker, by not allowing white to have a base, black is going to take a significant lead, you know, or in this local area, like big time. So you have to judge what's weak and what's strong, and if you find your opponent has a weakness, exploit it, and if you have a weakness, strengthen it. But anyway, also I think what I wrote down here, also, yeah, white has a lot of territory in this area. So another thing I'd be considering is either to make more points for myself or to break up this area and make an invasion. And so that white has a hard time making all the points here. But definitely first is this urgency, 100%. But then these would be my secondary, you know, areas of thinking. So this move is not good. It's good if there was nothing urgent or nothing big to break up, then it's fine because it's building more over here. But it is just not that good right now. Definitely think on the urgency. What this move kind of makes me feel like is it's more focused on the center. And remember opening theory, you'll hear this 100 times. Focus on the corners first, then the sides, and then the middle. So this move breaks the theory of like how to make points and win games. So this, yeah, this isn't good. White still didn't play here, so like if we were looking at the AI right now, it'll just keep talking literally through the whole game about like this area. So anyway, this was interesting. I usually don't recommend this type of approach. You could just take the whole area if you wanted, you know, and then take a secure corner and then focus on breaking up the middle. Or I can see why you played here now, but I think this is my first instinct. You could also play on top of here or something, but once again, this is where you really should play. And you could even think about playing something like this. It looks a little weird because it's on the 5th line, but you can see that you're building influence and like, because you can, white right now can match black's building, right? So if it was like this, you know, maybe it's not perfect, but the fact is white can grab a lot of points, but black would grab just as much. The only difference is that this invasion is a lot harder than white playing this invasion. So keep that in mind. And this is on the 3rd line, so it's a nice reduction here as well. But anyway, let's go back to the game. We've really veered off course here because we were talking about this move. What did I say? It won't make many points. I think it's better to play A. Oh, okay. So in the game, Owen played here, and this is not what you should be focusing on. The reason is because if let's count lines, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines here with a white stone, by the way, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines here. So there's more points to make on this side, and there's no white stones over here as well. So if black was to play something like this instead of this, you can see black is securing points, and it's making white's job a lot harder to live here. White is, you know, not going to have too much of a problem living, but white's only taking away 5 lines of territory instead of 6 lines of territory. So that's something that you have to think about. The direction of play is all about counting like where's the biggest areas, and if it's time to play something urgent like up here, or if you want the bigger areas, right? So anyway, this was a really bad move, unfortunately, and white got away with murder here because of this move. So what did I say about R6? Okay, yeah, we talked about R6. So this is over concentrated here. You have, especially when it got to this point, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stones in the smaller area attacking this one distracting stone, while you're losing 6 to even more lines of territory, you know, 7, 8, 9 lines of territory, because you focus these moves on this one stone. So this is over concentrated. What did I write about it? These type of moves lead to over concentration, which means you're spending many moves making small points. That's what that means. So yeah, this is the move that looks really awkward. I think maybe you could have taken the corner and like just let him connect and then harass him in some manner, or try disconnecting him here. But when you played this, it leaves the corner open. It allows white to settle very easily, and you just become overly concentrated. You wasting moves for small points when you're losing bigger points. So just something to keep in mind. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. This was strange because there's 2 cutting points, and so black can take either one, right? Like if black plays here, black gets the full corner. If white plays this way, black gets the full outside, and white gets a small corner. So the 2 cutting points, if there's 2 cutting points, you have to consider if this weakness is dangerous, which when there's 2 cutting points there usually is. So so this was, you know, off topic. It's not the most important part of the board. I'd say either this side or this move is the most important, and I'd probably value the bottom side as more important right now. But anyway, what did I write on this one? Oh yeah, we were talking about what's strong and what's weak. A is the weak, and it gets stronger. A is weak. Oh, somebody's knocking my door. Hold on 1 minute. I'll have to cut here. So this is the part where I was just, we've already talked about why this is weak and this is getting stronger, and like you want to look at weakness and strength and attack weakness and strengthen your own weakness. So anyway, we'll move on from there. Let's see. This move might have been too ambitious. I looked through some variations on this, and it gets a little complicated, for sure. But I still think that black might be okay here. It might go something like this, and then black can start attacking. This empty triangle is ugly shape, but I mean, if it works, it works. So. It's another empty triangle, but once again, I just yeah, that wouldn't work for white, so white would have to connect, and then yeah, so black has enough liberties. Black's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 liberties, and white only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 liberties tops. So, you know, black would win this race, and that'd be the end of that. But yeah, so if we go back, this knight's move actually looks like it works pretty well. I would have probably played here if it was me. I could be wrong. You know, maybe the knight's move is better. I'm not gonna say it isn't. It would have to go something like this. Whoever gets this first actually gets quite a nice position, so this would probably be the time. And then here and here. Yeah. So anyway, what was I talking about here? Black was weak, and so what I wrote down was black is weak, so he should have been careful and focused on his weak group. So right here, when he played this, it's like he gave up these stones, and that was the end of the fight. But black could have won this fight, so something to keep in mind. Was there anything else? Don't play moves. Move 55. I remember this being like kind of strange. Oh, and the reason was because white blocked this way. Because white has a stone here, this is the better way to block, because you can just seal them in immediately. And even if black lives here, which looks kind of difficult, to be honest. But even if black lives here, you know, white got the seal on both sides. I think, yeah, it would have to go like this and be a ko for black. This is the normal way for black to live. When it comes to this 3/3 stone, when there's an extra white stone. So just remember, the key way to remember this is just to block on the side that's more beneficial for you. And if black messes up, black could die here. And if black knows the correct sequence, the best black can get is a ko. So that's how this works. Okay? Let's just see. this was one of the last things I wanted to talk about. So black played this move, and then white immediately tried to cut the knight's move. So first I looked at this, but because this ladder doesn't work, it actually looks pretty good for white. And even if white sacrifices those stones, you know, now white can get something good on both sides. So this wouldn't be the correct move, but this would be. What you want to do is stay connected. Don't play moves that can easily be cut off. So when black played here, white just easily cuts this off, and now there's no issues for white and all issues for black. So if you can't keep the connection, then you can just threaten to keep the connection, and now this actually becomes pretty good for black, I think. It looks pretty, you know, fairly good for black. I could be wrong, even if this was just used as a sacrifice. Black gets this nice wall and then gets to continue fighting over here. And if white was to block this way, this is obviously just too good for black. So point is that you want to stay connected. And I guess if you can't stay connected, then threaten to stay connected and find the benefits of that. Like this would obviously be really good for black too. So alright, we'll just skim through the rest of the game very quickly. Those were the major points I wanted to talk about. So black did okay. Black was able to make this live. But because of white's invasion here, and it looks like it will live, I think white still had the advantage at the end of this point. I remember looking at the chat, and Owen said he had to open his shop, so he couldn't play anymore. And so the game ended here. And Joe, or Piertropaolo, felt like the game was fairly even because black had this huge area and white had this huge area. But because white's group here and white having this invasion that looks like it's gonna live, white is ahead. So let's recap everything as quickly as we can, and then we'll go to the next review. Direction of play: don't focus on one side of the board. Okay, let's see. That was here. Yeah, don't focus on just one side of the board. You want to be three-dimensional, because that can quickly lead to black taking a big advantage. Even if black just played something like this, he like securing his corner, making influence on this side, keeping white small, and black has all the potential of, like, you know, living here. I mean, making lots of points and having advantages in fights. So maybe something like this. But anyway, black got a double wing. This is really good. All these stones are working together. This pincer was really bad because A and B are here. So you're playing between two fence posts. So you're giving white a big advantage in this area. And your corner is still open. So that's what's going on with that. These were good. This was a super missed opportunity for both players. This is very urgent for both black and white, because this either saves or breaks the group. And if this group is alive, then this group is going to have some trouble. And this corner isn't fully black's anymore. And vice versa. If this becomes an issue, now black can take a humongous lead in this corner here. And he would just have to keep, you know, good stuff over here, and he'd win the game no problem. So this was poorly timed. I don't think it's a good move, especially in the fact that there's urgency up here. So this was poor timing and a direction of play. Pretty sure it was a direction of play issue. I don't know how I wrote it now. So R6 won't make many points, and I think it's better to play at A, which was something like that. No, not this one. That's not R6. But anyway, this looks too slow, and the reason it breaks the theory is that it's focusing on the middle, whereas you should focus on the sides and the corners first, and this is a corner and should be focused on. Same with breaking up this area. If we look back, like I was thinking of any one of these moves helps break up this corner so easier. So that's what you'd want to consider. Let's see, this was really bad because this side makes more points and makes it harder for white, whereas this one actually gave white a really good opportunity to either take away the corner or the side here. And when black focused on just this area alone, which has white's influence in it a little bit, it became over concentrated, meaning you're spending a lot of stones here for little points, where white just took away at least 7, 8, maybe even 9 lines of territory from you. We had 2 weak groups. Whoever's playing around here is gonna have the advantage. Black got the first moves, but then he gave up because he didn't see how crucial these moves were. So then black played here, and this is the wrong direction. You want to focus on this one to filter them into your strength. So you have a friend here, and you want to bully him into your friend, and then that way you get that nice seal on both sides. And then black actually technically isn't alive still. He still has to fight for his life with a Ko. So we'll move on. The last thing was don't play moves that easily get disconnected. That is really, really bad. So first I thought of this move, but then when I did a lot of reading and testing, it doesn't work. So then I came up with a way to use the stone as a good sacrifice and get either great advantages, you know, all across the board. White has trouble answering this. You know, this is terrible for white. This is terrible for white. What else is there? I feel like there was one more. This has potential of being good and bad for white. So like if it was sacrificed like this, white did get some nice points over here, but black also got a really nice wall over here. So it's kind of like almost an even ground. But anyway, I think that was it. Yeah, so I'll end it here. I hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.